Hey my friend, welcome back to a new video. In the movie The Matrix, Morpheus asked, what is real? How do you define real? Most people live their lives inside a dream they were told was reality. The Matrix wasn't just a movie, it was a mirror, it was a documentary, a reflection of our collective amnesia. It asked us, what if everything you've been told is a program? And the truth is, it is. But once you start to awaken, once you begin to question, the code starts to break. Today you're watching one of my paintings called Perception of Maya. Maya is another word for illusion or distraction, because what we see with our five senses distracts us from what is really happening, because we never perceive life as it is. We perceive it as we are, as what we believe to be true. And only once we start awakening to the greater truth, once we start reprogramming our minds, reshaping our beliefs, reshaping our habits, leveling up our frequency, we start to experience life as the creators rather than victims of the Matrix. We start controlling the Matrix rather than it controlling us. And that's what I want to give you today. 7 lessons learned from The Matrix, the movie. Very powerful video because it will help you to empower yourself, to be the creator in your life. And the first lesson is, you can't do it until you believe you can. Morpheus said, don't think you are, know you are. If you've watched the movie, remember the clip when Neo couldn't fly until he believed he could. That scene wasn't about defying gravity. It was about defying limitation we all have in our minds. Belief is the bridge between the impossible and the inevitable. Your mind writes the code of your experience, and belief is the syntax. If you doubt yourself, you reinforce the simulation's rules. But when you know, reality bends. So the takeaway is, believe precedes evidence. You don't need evidence, you need a strong belief in yourself or in whatever you want to experience. You don't wait to see it to believe it, you believe it until you see it. So you can't do what you want until you believe that you can. And one lesson I've learned in my life to reprogram my mind, my belief systems, is that I've started studying. I've started studying information that empowered me, that helps me to believe something that the world around me doesn't believe, that helps me see possibility where other people see limitation and roadblocks. And you know, when people say, oh, it's not possible, I will read a book from someone who made it possible, just to see how they think differently, so I can think like they think. Because mind is in your hands. Don't let it be in the hands of society or your environment. It's your tool and you can reshape it the way you want. Neuroscience talks about neuroplasticity. Your brain will literally reshape if you start studying something new. But repeating it is what truly makes a change. Repeating information. So sometimes read one book 5 times so you truly understand what it talks about, and then experiment with the knowledge that you've been reading. You can't do it until you believe you can. The second lesson is, the world as you perceive, it isn't real. It's your perception, as I mentioned before. Morpheus said in the movie, the Matrix is everywhere. It is all around us. Everything you experience is filtered through your mind, your beliefs, fears, and expectations. Reality is not what happens out there, it's how your consciousness interprets energy and information. Two people can walk through the same day and live two entirely different realities. This is what quantum physics now confirms, that the observation itself collapses possibility into reality. That's why I often say to you, observer will observe it into existence. When you see a clear vision of a life you would love to live, and I mean truly love, not something your environment inspired you to do, but something deep inside you desire to experience. When you will observe that vision, when you will be so clear about it that you can easily see it in your mind's eye, you can talk about it, you can think about it, you feel inspired by it, your mind will give you ideas what to do to accomplish it. Like something I've did with my work, something that so many people maybe you found interesting did, you can do it too. Your perception doesn't just describe reality, it creates it. You're the co-creator in this world. So the takeaway is, when you change your inner lens, you change your world. When you change how you see the world will change. That's why studying, educating yourself around what you're passionate about is so important. But be very perceptive to energy. So sometimes when we're maybe watching videos or reading books, see how it makes you feel, because there's many information out there. We're living in the age of information, so there's a lot of information out there. You need to be very aware. Does it empower you or does it disempower you? Does it give you a spark of joy and enthusiasm, or does it take it away? Because if you read a book about finances, but it talks about how hard it is to make money and things like that, it will not empower you. So read information, study information that gives you a life force that truly pushes you into it rather than robs you from energy. The third lesson is learning fast is a superpower. You know, the scene in the movie when Neo was learning Kung Fu, when they plugged it to a computer and they installed a program of Kung Fu, and he woke up and he said, I know Kung Fu. This is fast learning. You see, the speed of learning in the Matrix wasn't about technology, it was a metaphor for human potential. When the mind is free from doubt and distraction, it can integrate new knowledge at lightning speed. That's neuroplasticity once again, your brain's ability to rewire itself in real time. In today's world, your adaptability is your superpower. To survive the new reality, you must unlearn, relearn, and evolve faster than the system can control you. So the takeaway here is flexibility is freedom, and that's what truly allows you to learn faster. So much is happening right now, and there's more distractions than ever before. And if you want to grow fast, if you want to learn fast right now, you need to be adaptable, you need to be flexible, and you need to use technology for what it offers to grow, to become a better version of yourself, and to also become better at what you're doing, instead of using it for distraction, using it for just feeding your mind with nonsense. You see, people right now are learning way faster. There are skills you can learn to read faster, to memorize more deeply. Those are all things you can do. You don't even know how much you're capable of. So be an example to humanity, what a human being truly is capable of. That's how you will show everyone what's possible. And you will see that learning fast is truly a superpower. The fourth lesson is, everyone falls the first time. So don't be discouraged when you fall at something you've tried. It's about getting up, right? Getting up and getting up. Because failure isn't a glitch, it's a feature of awakening. Failing shows you where the false programs still run. You see the limiting beliefs. When you try something for the first time and it doesn't work, yeah, of course, think about how many doubts were in the background. It's through falling that Neo learned to trust himself, not the system in the movie. Every fall strips away illusions. Every failure is a step closer to mastery. Now it's not about just an intellectual thing. Yeah, each failure builds me. It's truly about knowing that when you're building something, when you're doing something that you truly want to do and you want to build something incredible in your life, and then you try and you fail, and of course you feel down, of course you feel bad, of course you may feel like a failure. But you get back up and you do it again, and you reflect on what to improve, and you reflect on where this old mentality is still holding you back. Because failing is a part of learning how to fly, how to build, how to accomplish, how to become who you want to become. Failing is a part of it, and when you see it like that, you know that through failing, you will get there. Through trying and falling and doing again, you're rising slowly, but you're getting there. The fifth lesson from the Matrix is sometimes blind belief in yourself is exactly what's needed. It's when you need to believe. Faith isn't about evidence, it's about what resonates, right? It's about a frequency. Faith is a frequency that pulls you closer to a reality you're manifesting. Faith is not a wish. It's not coming from lack or limitation. It's a very deep connection with a potential reality you are creating, you're desiring. There's a moment in every awakening where logic can't carry you further. You see, when you're trying to manifest something and you recognize that you don't know how to get it, and you can't think of an idea how to make it happen, that's when you need to have faith. That's when you need to have such a strong knowing in you that it will work out, and that you will be guided, and that you will find a way to get there. And you must leap without knowing what's on the other side. The world teaches you to doubt until proven, but creation demands you trust before you see. That's how you trust God. That's how you trust life. Sometimes the greatest act of power is to believe for no reason at all. Because people will ask you, why are you doing it? Like, why are you wasting your time? And they will see no reason to do it until you win, until you accomplish. And then they will say to you, you had luck. But you had a belief, you had faith, you've put a lot of work into it. You've created a frequency resonance within you because you've been visualizing your future, and you've been tuning into that vision of the future until it inspired you and pushed you forward. So the next day you woke up early because you felt so inspired to make it. And you've been working hard on it. And then you had days when you've been feeling down, and you've been feeling disconnected, and you've been falling back into old mentality, and you've reminded yourself, oh no, it's an old program, it's the system, right? The system's mentality that is getting me. So I will wake up, I will believe, I will return back into what I need to do, and I will stay true to my vision. The takeaway is, belief is your superpower. Doubt is the matrix. Just remember that every time you have doubts, it's the program of society. It's not your voice. Within you, there's the voice of truth, and there's the echo of society, of the collective mind. So there's the voice of truth that always tells you what to do, but it's very subtle. But then there's the echo of collective mind it is way more loud. So you need to become so aware that you can easily discern between the voice of the collective mind or society or what people told you and that inner truth that is like a feeling of resonance that is pulling you forward. The sixth lesson from The Matrix is always choose truth over convenience. You see, in the movie, it said, you take the blue pill, the story ends. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland. So many times when I talk with people who are on their journey, many times we call it a journey of spiritual awakening because we start questioning everything and we start awakening to the rabbit hole of reality. And people say, I've been studying this and I've been doing that and I've been trying that and I still don't know what makes sense. This is the Wonderland. You see, truth is uncomfortable. It shatters illusions. And exposes manipulation. And it reminds us how much we don't know, how much was hidden from us. And suddenly there's so much to learn, and this is the journey. This is then the hero's path. So we need to be very, very aware of what resonates, so we don't just jump around from one thing to another just because it feels attractive. We need to know what is our path. And your path will always feel like it's the right thing to do. When you go on social media, you will see there's so many interesting things, but if you sit in quietness, there will be only one interesting thing too. And that's how you know. Nowadays, people don't want to sit in quietness because their noise in their minds is so loud. But if you don't do it, you get lost in this world because the world became so chaotic. So whatever helps you to find clarity is the greatest blessing in this time for you, because in clarity you will find your direction, and when you find your direction, then taking action and disciplining yourself to keep taking action will truly transform your life. Most people choose comfort over freedom. They prefer the illusion of safety to the reality of awakening. But when you take the red pill, you begin to see the architecture of the matrix. You see how your energy is harvested by fear, media, and distractions, how algorithms actually feed on your fear. Because you look into one news that's negative, that's always more attractive than positive, you watch it and suddenly you receive so many more videos that are similar to the previous one. And you watch another one and suddenly algorithms will bring to you more of this kind of videos, and suddenly you will get lost in the chaos of negativity. You can use algorithms for the positive benefit when you watch something that empowers you, and it will bring to you more of this kind of information. But still, it's an algorithm. It wants to feed you with more stuff. So you need to be aware to use it just enough. Like ancient philosophers would remind us, one of the greatest qualities is moderation. Use everything in moderation. I say use everything with purpose. Because if you know why you're watching something, if you know that you're actually, by watching it, you're also studying it, and you're also reprogramming your mind with it, then the purpose of watching something is to improve your life, to implement what you've learned in your life and make your life more free, more abundant, more exciting. That should be the purpose of watching information, to make yourself free, not to distract yourself, to give you an illusion of freedom. So the takeaway is, truth hurts only until you're free. Then it heals everything. Always choose truth over convenience. Truth means many times that we need to face with what is going on in our lives and to see what will free us, not running away. And it will always be, usually it will be uncomfortable, but then we'll be free. So you see, real growth often feels uncomfortable, but then gives us freedom. While the Matrix is programming people to give them an illusion of freedom, and then later they feel uncomfortable. Everything is just turned around. So you need to be aware. Usually what feels uncomfortable, if you know that it will give you more freedom eventually, then it's the right thing. Choose freedom over convenience. It's more convenient to do nothing and to just keep distracting yourself or be lazy or be slow than to face with the truth. Yeah, if I want to end up there, I will need to do this. If I want to experience more abundance, then I will need to raise my frequency, and I will need to change my lifestyle, and I will need to change my belief systems. And that is not convenient. That requires some work. So if I'm willing to put in the work, then I will be rewarded, then I will experience freedom. This is a great lesson. The 7th lesson from the Matrix is, there is no spoon. Do not try and bend the spoon. Do you remember this scene? When a guy is telepathically bending a spoon, and Neo watches him, and the little guy says, the kid says, there is no spoon. Do not try and bend the spoon. That's impossible. Instead, only try to realize the truth. There is no spoon. This is the deepest truth in the movie. There is no external world separate from you. That's what it is teaching us. This is a deep lesson, my friend. There is no external world separate from you. Once you understand this, you become master manifester. You become master creator in this world. There is no external world separate from you. What does it mean? There is only consciousness, shaping, shifting, projecting. There is only observer. You are the observer. And by projecting, you're always projecting. People say, oh, this guy is projecting, right? When someone is having an outburst of anger or something like that, they say, oh, he's projecting. But actually, we are all projecting all the time. That's how we are creating reality. But we're doing it unconsciously. So your projection is creating reality simultaneously, shaping, shifting, and creating. When you stop trying to control the reality, what is present right now, the illusion, and instead remember that you are the illusion, everything becomes very malleable. You don't bend the spoon, you bend your mind. And when you do, reality follows. So in more simplified language, we would say we don't try to change our reality, how it is right now. We stop identifying with it. We stop being defined by what is present. And we realize that within us, there's another reality that is shifting way faster because it's a reality of thoughts. There's a world of thoughts within you. And if you're familiar with the teachings of reality transurfing by Vadim Zinald, the Russian quantum physicist, he's teaching manifestation the way that you become aware of the inner screen and outer screen. So inner screen is the screen of your mind, and outer screen is the reality you experience that is the byproduct of your mind. And only once you become aware of connection, like what is happening within you as the world of your thoughts, visions, ideas, beliefs, and the outer reality, only then you can realize that you truly are manifesting all the time. But if you're not aware of your thoughts, if you're not aware of your belief systems, then you will never say, oh yes, I've created it. You will think it happened to you. But actually, since you've been growing up, from the 0 to 7 years of age, your brain was in theta brainwave frequency. So it's a state of hypnosis. So you've been just inputting information from your environment, and it made you think certain way, it made you feel certain way, it made you behave certain way. And psychology says what makes our personalities, how we think, how we feel, and how we behave. So if your personality was formed in your childhood, now it's very, very good job if you become aware that your personality is not who you truly are. It's a product of your environment. And when you start altering your personality by altering what you think, by having a greater dream for your life and adapting your beliefs for that dream of yours. As I said before, beliefs are made by constant repetition of certain thoughts. By constant repetition of certain new information, you form new beliefs. When you're reading something about someone or from someone who made possible what you want to make possible, if you're rereading it, you will start forming new beliefs. But then when you stop reading it, when you stop changing your beliefs, you will notice it's much easier to return into your old life than to stay in a new state of being. It's much easier to fall into your old personality than to keep altering your belief system, keep changing your thoughts until they change your behavior, until they change how you feel. Keep working on this inner wellness, like how you think, how you feel, how you behave, until it shapes you into a new you. That's when your reality will start shaping, because reality is not a product of just what's happening in your mind. It's a product of your personality. As Joe Dispenza says, your personality creates your personal reality, because the observer always observes reality into existence. This is a quantum law from quantum physics. Observer always has an effect on the reality. So reality is not fixed, it's a reflection of your inner state. And what I want to give you with this video today is this: there is no reality without you. And when you start looking at reality as a byproduct of who you are, then you place way more importance on changing how you are expressing yourself, how are you feeling, and how are you thinking. You start using your mind as a tool that is accumulating information. And if you know that your mind is just a tool for accumulating information, install information, pay attention to the input. Don't just, look at everything, listen to everything. Pay attention to the input, because input is everything. It's like, putting programs on your computer. You don't just install everything, you install what you need. With your mind, it's the same. Study what you need, that it will improve your life. It will make you feel empowered, excited, enthusiastic, grateful, and then act like it. And that's how you will become a new you. That's when you will learn reality isn't fixed. It's a reflection of your inner state. Neo said, I didn't come here to tell you how this is going to end. I came here to tell you how it's going to begin. Because the matrix isn't out there. It's actually inside us. It's every belief that says, I can't or I can. It's every program that says, this is just the way things are. But you're not the program, you're the coder, you're the programmer. That's why right now we can decide this is how it will begin. And not what ended, but how it will begin. Because for a wise man and woman, every single day is a new lifetime. And right now you can begin to live a new life. Yes, you can decide to live a new life, but it will require some kind of a change, dedication, devotion, right? Devotion to the truth, to your truth, to what you believe that you can accomplish here, that you can become here. You have the power to rewrite the code of your life through awareness, through belief, through truth. So ask yourself, my friend, will you take the blue pill and go back to sleep and, keep scrolling or whatever? Or will you take the red pill and wake up fully and become the coder of this reality, the programmer of this reality? The choice is always yours, right? I hope you found great value today. I hope you've enjoyed in this painting, Perception of Maya. I'm sending you lots of love, blessings, and power. And to anyone who would like to get a print of it, you can go into AttractPassion.com and you will find all of my paintings there. For this one, just type in the search Perception of Maya, or you can also choose any other one. I channel my paintings, I see them in my mind's eye, I paint them. So each painting has a very unique story, unique energy, and it will awaken you, it will empower you, it will remind you of what truly matters. Paintings are like portals. That's what people don't know. Paintings are like portals because they come from higher realms. And all these frequencies that an artist put onto a canvas, they stay there. They are there and you can feel it. So yeah, go and check it out, which one resonates with you. By that, you're also supporting this mission, which I'm truly grateful for. And also join our Patreon community for more exclusive content and YouTube membership if you would love to support this channel. Thank you so much, and till next time, one love.